The large street sees its best trading day in 3 years after the exit poll predict a BJP win. The Nifty and the sensex hit record highs, so over 3%. The Nifty Bank races past the 50,000 mark. Market capitalization of BSE-listed companies hits a record high of and adds 14.25 lakh crore rupees in a single session.
Public sector units outperformed. 4 out of the 5 Nifty gainers were PSUs. Banks, power-related stocks surge.
State Bank of India rallies a whopping 9%, hits a market capitalization of 8.1 lakh crore rupees, overtakes ICICI Bank, becomes the second most valuable company in banking space by market cap. Hello and welcome to Markets Forward, your go-to show where we aim to get you all the key data points that transpired during today's trading session and gear you up for tomorrow's trade as well. I'm National D'Souza and joining me, my colleague Rima Tandulkar. Rima, what a session.
Absolutely historic, right? Anticipating a historic verdict tomorrow. But let's tell you what we're going to do for you in this show in the next 20 minutes. We'll be with you with all the big news, the key developments in Dalal Street, the top corporate voices, the events to track. But first, the day's market action, right? The start was solid, 800 points, and we closed with a near 800-point rally, giving up absolutely nothing through the day.
Well, that's right. You know, Rima, those that got to participate in Friday's trading session would be thanking their stars on the upside. But actually, today there was no real entry because we started gap up, and at no point of time you even saw a 100-point dip from the high point of the day. And it was that sort of a day. The bulls, they went charging in. They celebrated the exit polls because that's going to be pointing at continuity of the current government. The total market capitalization, by the way, added today was 14 lakh crore rupees, a little more than 14 lakh crore rupees. And PSU's domestic-facing themes, well, they did very, very well and they outperformed in today's trading session. If I had to highlight 2 stocks, that did very well and were really the flag bearers for the bulls from the Nifty itself today, SBI from the banking pack and Reliance Industries, because its sure weightage on the index gradually moving towards HDFC Bank in weightage terms. Both of them did the heavy lifting. But Rima, just one point. On a day when you have such a big surge on the Nifty as well as the Nifty Bank, the breadth of the market actually didn't look anything, spectacular. You had 2 stocks advancing. For one stock that's declining. On a day like this, you're actually expected 4-5 stocks should be in the green in comparison to one. But you take it as it comes and maybe, in fact, post the final verdict, if it goes according to what the exit poll says, then, in fact, you'll have an outperformance coming in from the small and the mid-cap space rather than the large caps. But today was the day of the large cap names.
Well, large caps were celebrating today. I read somewhere that this was the best gap up opening that we've seen in the last 4 years. Oh. And after that, markets have only consolidated. And just to put some numbers to the kind of PSU rally that we've seen, while the Nifty Bank gained about 4.1%, the PSU banking index, the Nifty PSU Bank index was up 8.4%. So double that of the overall banking index. The PSE index per se was up 7.8%. Even the energy basket, which has a lot of PSU names in it, that was up close to about 6.5 to 7%. The only 2 sectors which lagged were IT and pharma and a little bit of FMCG, and they too had gains of between 0.5 to 1%. And some of the top gainers that we had today, the likes of Adani Ports, NTPC, Power Grid, these are stocks which have done exceedingly well over the last 6 months, perhaps 1 year, maybe even 2 years. So that plate will come up for you on your screen. For instance, Adani Ports, 10% up today and 55% year to date. So the street today backing the winners that we've had over the last couple of days.
Well, that's right. Let's move on with the show now that we've given you a complete wrap of what went on in today's trading session. Well, there's a quick lineup of what we have on the show for you. We start off with the top movers and shakers of trade when Vivek joins in. And ahead of the final verdict of the Lok Sabha election results, we tell you what brokerages are making of the exit polls and the top market voices. Well, let's get straight to Vivek first for the first segment of the day. He's here to tell us about all the big movers and shakers of the day. Vivek, take it away.
Well, thank you so much for that. Like you mentioned, it was the entire PSU pack. And along with that, if you're looking at the banking index, so far, that was something that the whole market was, waiting to go ahead and participate and have a look at the kind of outperformance today. That was one place where, FII shot so high. That's what the buzz was. And have a look at the kind of outperformance that we're seeing. Nifty Bank up 4%, and have a look at the entire basket. SBI, Can Bank, Bob, as well as Axis Bank today, all of them doing quite well. The next set of stocks that we will be focusing on is the power utilities as well as the power infra lenders. So look at names like REC, PSE, both up over 12%, and along with that, the PSU as well as even a private utility company is doing very well. Power Grid, NTPC, Tata Power, all of them doing very well. Along with that, you also had to look at the OMCs as well as the gas stocks. So all of the OMCs, HPCL, BPCL, ICL, amongst the top gainers. GAIL as well as IGL today continued to outperform. Along with that, a whole host of other PSU stocks as well. If you look at that, look at the kind of outperformance you're seeing over there. Coal India up 4.5%. LIC, when was the last time you saw that stock, end high by almost 5%. Concord, BEL, RVNL, even from the railway pack, doing quite well. The other sector or segment of stocks that did quite well today was the realty basket. Some very strong price action over there. Look at names like Prestige Estates, Brigade, Godrej, DLF, Phoenix, all of them today seeing quite a bit of strong outperformance. One more stock on the radar, Suzlon Energy. Suzlon Energy, Morgan Stanley initiated coverage on the stock with an outperform rating. The stock ended at the high point at the upper circuit. Aurobindo Pharma, some very positive news flow coming in terms of a deal that the company managed to get from MSD, and Aurobindo Pharma today was amongst the top gainers. On the other hand, like you mentioned, what actually missed the rally today was the IT as well as pharma stocks. The Nifty IT, Nifty Pharma Index not gaining as much as the rest of the pack. Also names like LTI, Mindtree, IPCA, HCL Tech amongst laggards in today's trading session. The other stock that was a laggard today was Eicher Motors. Eicher Motors, when you're looking at the auto sales for the month gone by, it was slightly underwhelming. Missed analyst expectations. The stock in a market like today actually ended lower. And the other stock that saw quite a bit of selling pressure was Godfrey Phillips, a promoter dispute over there, and the street didn't like it. Again, the stock ended lower by over 3.5%.
Thank you very much for that. Let's invite our guests on the show. Shilpa Rao, the Prabhudas Leeladhar, and market expert Ambrish Baliga are with us on the show. Ambrish, do you think today's 3.5% up move on the index, 8% on the PSC index captures the event? Or do you think tomorrow, if the verdict plays out as per the script, we get what the exit polls are suggesting, that there is more upside in store?
No, so with this move, I think we are capturing about 50 plus seats for the NDA alliance.
Ambrish, we'll just come back to you. I think we got you in a bit of a sketchy line, but let's go to Shilpa. Shilpa, technically, how are things looking? The Nifty Bank went and scaled the 51,000 odd mark. We were looking at two numbers, 23,000 and 50,000. Both of them got taken out today. Where do you go from here? And, what's the possibility of taking a fresh trade? Because when the market opens 700 points up, there's no scope to get in.
Definitely, when you see such sort of dramatic opening in the morning, and you just keep looking at the screen and can't find the right trade. So for that, you have to get on the train beforehand. So we have been initiating bull call spread strategies, vanilla call options to trade such markets. So as of now, also tomorrow, we expect that there will be a gap up opening where 22,800 to 24,000 again might get tested. And if we sustain above 22,800, we might see that levels of 24,200 to 400 coming in. But tomorrow, we might also see some sort of profit booking very aggressively coming after the results are mostly out. So for tomorrow, after the gap up opening, I would suggest everybody to significantly wait for any intraday dip to come. And as per the momentum in the market tomorrow, you should act likewise. Do not jump in and go aggressively long.
So you're saying that tomorrow we might see profit booking in the second half of the trading session, right, Shilpa?
Yes, definitely. I expect that some sort of profit booking. I wouldn't say a correction, but a profit booking scenario might emerge. Very chances are very high.
So, for the first half of the trading session, when we do have a gap up opening, would there be a trade, or you would play the second half of the trading session? And what would be the stocks that you have on your radar for tomorrow?
If tomorrow we see a gap up opening where we see 22,800, being tested, then I would definitely wait for a while and see if it is getting sustained. Above 22,800, you have a scope to see 24,100, 200 levels coming in. So that would be a trade, a window where you might get a long. Otherwise, waiting for the second half and finding trade on the downside where the profit booking scenario can emerge is more wise. Stock wise, I believe, there's a lot of pockets that have shown, good, momentum today, where a large upside potential is there. One is India Mart. India Mart, it's trading at around 2430, 40 right now. The support is very well placed at 2400 zones. So just, the stop loss below 2400 mark, maybe 2370 will work fine. The upside potential is very large, where, you can see targets of 2800 also coming in with a positional view. The other one would be Canara Bank. Canara Bank has seen very aggressive move from Friday, and today the volume has been spectacular. The stock is now opening up into a new trajectory where 145 to 150 those can be seen in maybe in a few sessions from here. So the stop loss would be 120 in this case.
Got it. Canara Bank, we'll keep an eye out on that one. But let's get in, Hormuz here. Post this exit poll, we have a lot of brokerages that have written. But let's go to Hormuz. He's here to tell us what are they making of it. Hormuz, tell us more.
Positive commentary in general from the brokerages, and I'll start off with Nomura, where they are saying that the average exit poll in 2014 and 2019 was projecting 50 seats lesser for the NDA. And if that turns out to be true in tomorrow's session, then the results will be much better than what the exit polls are predicting. Nomura also says that domestic linked sectors like infra, manufacturing, capex will outperform in the near term. Now, CLSA is believing that once the new government is elected, they will focus on macro financial stability, battling rural stress, and their push to their medium-term goal of building global manufacturing hubs as well. Jefferies said that the numbers were higher than what they were anticipating. They also say that FIIs, if they step in, FIIs have been heavy sellers in the recent past, if they step in, that will benefit the large caps more than the mid and small caps. It will benefit sectors like private banks and stocks like Reliance Industries as well. And IIFL Securities as well believes that electricity and agriculture will be the sectors that will be in focus. They remain positive on infra, cement, private banks, along with select NBFCs and industrials, but they are negative on IT and chemicals. So overall, brokerage commentary has been pretty positive, and the street was reflective of that as well. Back to you.
Okay, thank you very much for that. In fact, today, through the day, we spoke to a whole host of market veterans on where they see the market headed post the election verdict. Take a look.
I think it won't matter beyond maybe plus minus 0.5%. Because the market's main interest was that the same management is there, that sort of the same policies are there, the same thrust is there. Most of the ministers are the same, the railway minister, this minister, the oil and gas ministers.
So he has set a goal of 400, up ki bar 400 par. So if by chance actually this happens, all the short sellers, and I think the mood of the nation, and this is one election which is being watched all over the world. It's not only about what we are going to do. So this is a proper global event right now. And these things will sink very slowly. And we should not forget other things are also happening, in the sense that your GDP numbers just came day before or something like that, which is way beyond, almost 100 basis point higher than what the economists were saying. So a lot of things are coming together to say that this party which is starting with declaration of result is not going to be over just in a day or two. There could be correction, there could be selling by FIs, whatever. But I think it's a much longer party and larger party. I mean, larger for longer kind of party it is.
So I think there is significant opportunity for wealth creation over the next 5 to 10 years. That if you are willing to take, because you are late in the party, if you're a new buyer, if you're an old buyer, the choice is very clear that you have to be staying with the market, and you have to staying with your portfolio, you have to staying with your investment. But if you're a new buyer and wanting to put new money in the market, then, if you look at immediate making money, that is going to be tough because you are coming at 23,000 Nifty, and that's not going to be easy. So if you look at next 3 years, if you start to look at 2026-27 from earning perspective, then you can find a lot of investable ideas. One financial sector clearly looks like a very, very good risk reward from my perspective.
Going forward, next 5 years, when we look at if the economic growth continues to be in high single digit in real terms, call it 6 to 8%, and nominal GDP is in low double digits. Profit cycle is on the up move. You should have base case low double digit, call it 11-12% kind of earnings growth. And if the profit cycle gains further momentum, we can approach mid-teens, in which case earnings can double over the next 5 years, and markets, if it remains where it is in terms of multiples, which while higher than most of the world, it is not unusual, it is not uncharacteristic of what India has been historically. And so we can see a market again, approaching a double over the next 5 years.
Okay, all right. Amrish, now you come in and you tell us, today we have had a big rally. How much of this event is already priced in? And where do you see a couple of stocks that can do well from here on? Maybe, in fact, you could give us, say, a yearly target of a couple of stocks. That'll be helpful.
No, I mean, after yesterday's exit poll, I think about 350 to 380 is what has been discounted by the markets after the sort of a move which we have seen today. So unless, tomorrow we see similar numbers or better numbers, I think only then the markets will sustain at those higher levels. But then in case we see, numbers which are below 350, maybe closer to 320 or 310, I think we can see a decent correction. But assuming that the numbers are somewhere around the same, I think the markets will hold on at least for a while. At least till the budget, because post this, then people will surely start talking about budget. I think like monsoons also are expected to be normal, above normal. So markets can hold on for a while. But then whatever said and done, I think the valuations are just a bit too expensive. So any sort of adverse news can puncture this rally to a certain extent. So at this point of time, I would not really buy fresh unless one is a trader. I would say just hold on for a while, because the first 100 days of the new government, the third term, I think they would take some tough decisions, and this is what has been indicated by PM Modi. So I think at the same time, we don't know whether those tough decisions will be favorable for the markets or not, but it has to be favorable for the economy from a longer term perspective. But in short term, it's very much possible that they could be unfavorable. So I think one needs to be a bit cautious at this point of time after the sort of a move which we have seen. But having said that, yes, you could still see further rally as far as railway stocks are concerned or defense stocks are concerned, because that's the flavor of the season, including the infra stocks. So I think these are a couple of sectors which can continue moving up, but I wouldn't really suggest fresh picks unless the valuations are compelling.
Shilpa, which one is the best looking PSU bank chart according to you?
I would bet on SBI from here. SBI gave a fresh breakout again above 900 today. From here 950 to 980 cannot be ruled out, and this is by far, I guess, the best move that we have seen in the PSU sector, with SBI completely leading and marching the way ahead. And this target of 950 will definitely come in a very few sessions.
Okay, all right. Well, thanks a lot, Shilpa, as well as Amrish, for joining in and giving us your take. We've taken note of your take on the index, as well as a couple of stocks that we discussed as well. For the time being, we'll slip into a short break. When you come back, we'll give you a quick snapshot of May's auto sales numbers and more on the markets. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're tuned into Markets Forward. You're on CNBC-TV18. Well, let's shift focus to the auto space. Shares of auto stocks, well, they were higher ahead of the Lok Sabha election results tomorrow. However, it was a mixed bag for the sales numbers that did trickle in. Sudarshan joins us to run us through a quick snapshot of all those numbers. Sudarshan, take it away.
So in today's session, if there was one sector which was relatively underperformer, was auto sector. And I'm saying underperformer despite most of the stocks gaining in the range of 2 to 3% after these companies reported sales for the month of May, which were mixed after strong sales that these companies had reported in the month of April. growth for passenger vehicles and two-wheelers have seen a moderation, while growth for commercial vehicles and tractors have seen an improvement. So starting with four-wheelers, Maruti and Tata Motors have missed estimates in the range of 2 to 6%, and the reason is below than expected passenger vehicle sales. And for Tata Motors, even electric vehicles saw a drop of almost 4%. For M&M, following the trend, passenger vehicles have seen sales that were below estimates, while tractor segment has done better. Numbers are 5% higher than Nomura's estimate, and it remains positive on tractor segment going forward. Company says forecast of above normal monsoon has improved the sentiment. Coming to Escorts, sales for the month of May were down, but like M&M, it also sees sales improving going forward on favorable monsoon. In four-wheeler segment, Pure CV play, that is Ashok Leyland, has reported sales that were better than estimates. Total sales were up 12% year-on-year and 1% higher than Nomura's estimate. Now shifting to two-wheelers, numbers were largely below estimates for most of the companies. Hero MotoCorp, Bajaj Auto and Eicher have reported two-wheeler sales that were below estimates in the range of 2 to 4%. But for TVS Motors, it has done better than peers thanks to the scooter segment. Scooter segment saw a growth of 20% against 7% growth seen for the motorcycle segment. So for the entire sector, if you divide the sales, it can be divided in two parts. So commercial vehicle segment has done better than passenger vehicle segment.
Thank you very much for that. Moving on to State Bank of India, clearly one of the big stocks of the day, rallying a whopping 9%. Market capitalization crossing 8 lakh crore rupees, overtaking ICICI Bank to become the second most valuable banking company by market capitalization. Well, the Reserve Bank might cut interest rates in October, and the effort will be made to improve their net interest margin. That was the word coming in from none other than SBI Chairman Dinesh Khara from the sidelines of the BofA Securities India Conference. Listen in to excerpts from that conversation.
Our effort will be to see that whatever improvement we can achieve in the NIM, we'll certainly do that. So, but yes, of course, it keeps on evolving. There are multiple factors which have an impact on the NIM. But yes, of course, what you mentioned in terms of the bond yield coming down, lowering down, so that is something which will certainly have a positive impact for a bank like us. We will have to wait and watch. My sense is that when it comes to the interest rate cut from RBI, it will be a function of the inflation trajectory. And the way it is evolving, it appears that maybe in the quarter commencing from October, maybe there could be some kind of interest rate cut.
All right, that was the start of the day, SBI in today's trading session. But on that note, we'll wrap up on this edition of Markets Forward. We'll be back with more news and updates on the other side.